Hello. Hi. How are you? Hope you're having a good Monday. Sorry about the sound. I apologise. I know it annoys everyone, but my mic USB is snapped purely because one of my kids had their little dragon hands on it. So forgive me. It's in the post. It should be sorted very, very soon. How are you? I hope you had a good weekend. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And please keep with your lovely feedback. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying how much you guys are loving the channel. It's lovely. I wanted to speak about this over the weekend, but I was up in Scotland at christening and mind blown at this game. Bearing in mind, for full disclosure, my sister plays for Aston Villa and is currently mending a fractured foot. She hopefully be back in a few weeks. So I have the perspective of this maybe from a biased point of view, and also what she witnessed that maybe the cameras didn't pick up, and maybe just to offer that little bit more insight as to what happened when it was Aston Villa 1, West Ham United 2 at the Walsall Bank Stadium. So interesting is that, considering Aston Villa have had a very good start to the season, it was West Ham who went 2 goals up in 16 minutes, something freakish like that. And who got the brace was Dagny Brynsjardsdottier, the Iceland player who I spent a lot of time watching over the Euros. I'm fascinated by this character. My sister actually used to play with her at West Ham for a short spell of time and said she was a really good egg. I've heard brilliant things about her, but she's a real workhorse. She's fit, she's fast, she's a great tidy player, and I've enjoyed watching her over the last wee while. But yeah, she was the one who got the brace. Anyway, that's not the juicy bit of the story. The juicy bit is, of course, the fight that happened. But even aside from the straight red to Cissoko and the tussle and the slapping about with Sarah Mayling, this game had everything. You know, it did, because then Alisha Lehman took a penalty at 73 minutes that she missed, which must have absolutely stunk. And I feel for anybody, you know, in that situation. And I was thinking to myself, why didn't Rachel Daly take the penalty? Like, surely she would be your penalty taker. But Daly had missed the penalty in the Conti Cup last week. Anyway, she missed the penalty. Then eventually Kenza Dahli, I think about 83 minutes, managed to make it 2-1. So yeah, you know, Villa are working their way back into the game. There's a little bit of beef going on between Mayling and Cissoko, just kind of at each other all game. Mayling, who I think looks like a petite thing, I've actually never seen her up close in real life, has got pure concrete frame, clearly. Cissoko, I think, is one of the best defenders at times, but we know that hard discipline can be questionable, and she absolutely lost her marbles. Marbles were lost on Saturday at that game. I just can't get my head around why she reacted in the way that she did. But yeah, I mean, it absolutely kicked off. So you'll have seen the footage, no doubt. Mayling and Cissoko kind of at it for the ball. Mayling then kind of, they're at it just as each is the same as the other is. Sorry, I'll put my teeth back in for the next bit. Cissoko kind of pushes her away, but like here, you know, like this kind of area. Mayling goes back up to her, Cissoko pushes her again like up here, but it's more like, it's like jabbing, you know, jab. And then the third time, just straight into the side of her neck there, like a punch, slappish, pretty grim. Not a good look. And I'm surprised Sarah Mayling didn't hit the deck and just die, because I would have there and then in that moment. Cissoko is a big girl. And at that point, Rachel Daly pushes Cissoko away. Of course, he gets to Sarah Mayling. Sarah Mayling, I believe, was a bit shocked, a bit like, what's just happened there? Cissoko gets the straight red, it gets sent off. Now, as she's going off, I believe there were comments made towards her conduct on the pitch. Cissoko goes over to the bench and starts on Shani Boy Lorca. Okay. Paul Konchesky, the West Ham manager, then gets involved and starts defending Cissoko because he didn't like what he was hearing. And then he gets a red card and he's sent down the tunnel as well. Just had everything. And I was watching it and I was like, what is happening here? So anyway, my sister came up for the christening as well. We'd spoken about this. I covered it yesterday on Sky Sports. I was saying it was like the build up to the Shields Marshall fight. That's what it seemed like, because it was like proper rough. It was really rough, in my opinion anyway. And Rusha, my sister, was saying that Paul Konchesky had been chucking it like a lot of the game. So I don't know how true that is, but Rusha said he was at it. He was kind of adding fuel a lot of the game. She had at one point a player get down and he was like, "Get up, what are you doing?" and kind of giving out at the Villa player who was on the ground, just being kind of needlessly aggy kind of thing. So it feels like him defending then Cissoko in that moment. Maybe perhaps the referee had been hearing stuff across the game as well. I don't know about you. It's not nice to watch, is it? But it's passion. It's what we're going to see more of as the women's game grows. It's a massive talking point from the weekend as well, because we don't really see that kind of stuff coming from the women's game, but it's absolutely there. It's absolutely there. It happens. I haven't seen it quite like that edgy bit there, but everybody's been talking about it, and everybody's interested to know what else happened there. What I will say is that, as I mentioned earlier, Cissoko is a very good player. She is a good player, but she does see red. I mean, I've seen a few games where she's been sent off just for, not for instances like that, but for being a bit clumsy, a bit too full on. But the swings that she took at Sarah Mayling were uncalled for, and there were 3 of them. Some people were saying, "Oh, she only hit her once." She didn't. She connected with her 3 times. Mayling doesn't have to go back into it. She doesn't have to keep going back, but that is it. You're defending your own. You're laying down, "Don't mess with me, don't get in my face" kind of thing. But Mayling never lifted her hands. Mayling never lifted her hands to Cissoko, and Cissoko did it 3 times. The fact that Sarah actually was able to keep going without going down was madness. Was madness to me. What do I think about it? I like to see it because it gets us all talking, and I think it's quite interesting, and I think it keeps people engaged. And here we are discussing it, and discussing it all day yesterday. Everyone kind of getting in and talking about it. Did you see that? But we don't condone any sort of violence whatsoever, of course. But for me, it makes it all the more interesting to see what's in store in this league. Manchester United are at the top. Arsenal just behind them, I think, on goal difference. And then Chelsea have now made their way back up. Of course, they've played that extra game. Now Emma Hayes isn't going to be in the dugout for the next wee while. We don't know how long. Aston Villa now have dropped ever so slightly. But looking ahead to what they've got Everton in the league at the weekend. And then they've got Everton in the Cup the week after. So they'll play Everton back to back, WSL, then the League Cup. Then it's Chelsea, then it's Liverpool. Keen to see if Aston Villa can maintain, because I think they look like a strong squad. They've got some people coming back from injuries just now as well. Hannah Hampton, of course, Anna Leah was back in goal as well for Aston Villa. Hannah Hampton, not sure what's going on there, if she's not fit at the moment as well, but there's a wee bit of depth coming in to that side as well. But yeah, I mean, all for the tea at the weekend, and I'm glad I got to sit and just talk about it for just a second as well. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Was it as bad? Did you think it was as bad? I thought it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I mean, surely you've got to agree with me there. Or was it not a straight red? I mean, surely you're not saying